Mock Draft 3.0. Okay, so this is 2024 NFL Draft. So now this is the third draft. This is obvious smoke season. Okay, and I'm not telling you not to listen to guys on television or but keep that in your mind. They're hearing things and all this stuff now. A lot of it's so much is smoke. Man, the smoke is really flying with JJ McCarthy. Um, I definitely believe they're using him for smoke. Not that he might not get drafted in first round or second. You never know. But I think a lot of it he's being used for smoke. Teams like use subterfuge, things like that. This time of year, it's really smoke. Now we're getting closer to the draft. Give it about another week or so, and now you can kind of more really read the tea leaves with teams, really what they're thinking, guys they like, guys they don't like, because now it's time to go ahead and make a pick. The smoke you still have some, but you kind of hearing things right before the draft or players kind of sense it, etc. You'll kind of hear that. So let's go with mock draft 3.0. A lot of it at the top is going to be the same. Caleb Williams. Apparently, he's going to visit the Bears, and I read somewhere where it's a rumor that they're going to give him a key card. They're going to go ahead and meet him with the coaching staff, go ahead and give him the playbook. I think this is a done deal, Caleb Williams. It would be old school to just go ahead and start negotiating, announce it if you made it up. People don't kind of like teams. This is kind of anti the way players and teams think. But however, they can announce it if they want. Like you're picking first. Right? So they don't have to. There's no really subterfuge. That's kind of anti the way athletes and teams and think at all time. The value. But like they can announce it if they really want. Sticking with Jalen Daniels at 2 for LSU. I'm hearing a lot of Drake May for the Commanders. I don't think it's Drake May. I think it's Jaden Daniels is the number 2 pick. I really think the fit with Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury is there. I think the only way it is Drake May is they really have a higher grade on him than Daniels. That's not impossible that that's the case. I don't think it is. I think those two are about the same, but but that is possible. Patriots. I see their name in trade a lot. You never know. I doubt it seriously. Here's why I think it could be trade, unless again they don't like Jaden Daniels, which I think is a lot of smoke going on. It is possible if the Commanders actually do take Drake May and they don't like Jaden Daniels, they might trade down. If they like McCarthy or one of the other quarterbacks, I don't think that's going to happen. I do think it's going to be Drake May there. And I do think it'll be Jaden Daniels if he's there. I do. I don't think they're going to do that. But it's not out of the realm. I think there is a group of people that think Drake May is much better than Daniels, etc. I'm not in that group. I don't think a lot of the league is. I think Daniels was sensational. I thought last season he was better than the other 2 quarterbacks there. Marvin Harrison, I think, is 2. Marvin Harrison, I think, is there as well for the Cardinals. I don't think there's any question about it. We're going to do a big board. Marvin Harrison is tremendous. I don't think there's any question about it. Roma Dunze, seeing a lot of Malik Neighbors. This was the one I almost changed. I think there is a buzz that Malik Neighbors is better than a Dunze. I don't know if that's. I think Jim Harbaugh likes him better. Would like him better than Malik Neighbors. I do think that is actually the case. So I'm going to stick with Dunze. I think he's a Harbaugh type player. I don't at all buy the talk I'm hearing about, okay, well, he's not going to take a receiver. That doesn't make any sense. He's doing exactly what the Ravens are doing. The Ravens are always in the draft taking a receiver. I mean, they signed Ben Mason today. They signed Ben Mason yesterday. They're signing Raven player. They had JK. Yeah, so they're going to take. They're definitely going to take a wide receiver. Malik Neighbors. I think the Giants is causing a lot of the smoke. I think they're dying to take a QB. I think they really would. I don't think one is there for him. I don't think it is, unless they actually are going to trade back. I could see them trading back or trying to trade up more than any of these teams in this group. I think Everybody else here, I don't think they're dying to do it. I think everybody else is pretty set. Giants going to be a wild card here. I think if they stay there, it's Malik Neighbors. I think they probably would stay there, and they're going to get an outstanding wide receiver. Get Daniel Jones some help. I mean, I think that's the thing. Joe Alt for Notre Dame, Tennessee Titans. I think the Titans are going to take a tackle. I think that's extra stone. Alt possibly could go earlier. That is possible. I could see the Chargers or the Giants taking him. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Alt goes 7. He's easy to me watching him, the number 1 guy. Dallas Turner, once again, outside linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. Best defensive player in the draft at the best position. I like him. I don't think he's an 8 Hutchinson. I don't think he's up there, but I think this is pretty high. This is pretty high spot. Number 1 defensive player in the draft, in a draft where you're going to mostly offense in round 1. I like Dallas Turner. I think he's definitely the best. I think he's the surest bet of the pass rushers. Not the highest upside, but the surest bet. Jared Verse up now for the Bears. I think the Bears, they definitely could take defensive end. Again, I don't like Verse as much as Latu, but I do like him some. I do think this is probably where the Bears go. And again, I think they could take a little bit of a roll of the dice. I mean, obviously, you got 2 first-round picks. I think this is probably, again, kind of the mold of Dallas Turner. Pretty sure bet here, taking a Jared Verse here. Will he be Lawrence Taylor or whatever? I don't know. He'll be a solid pro. I don't think there's any question about that. Brock Bowers, I think 10 for the Jets. Bowers, I think, has top 5 talent. I don't know if there's a spot for him. I don't know if the Jets pass on him. I think also, too, with the Jets, they went ahead. They've been looking at tackle. I think they've had 2 defensive tackle. They signed Morgan Moses. They signed Tyron Smith. So I definitely think that is something maybe they're not looking at right away in the first round. Bowers is going to be tough to pass on for somebody. He's really, really a top 5 talent. Terran Arnold, quarterback for the Vikings. I think this is now we're going to run on some quarterbacks here. I think Terran Arnold is really, really, really good. I think he's the best corner in the class. I think this is cornerback class not as good maybe as last year's was in recent years, but he's pretty good as well. I like him in the first round for the Vikings. The Vikings definitely they need help in a lot of different areas. The Vikings here. Bo Nix for the Broncos. Some people saying this isn't going to happen. I'm not buying that. I'm still not buying that. I think here's the thing here with Nix. It could not be him. I think it is possible it could be Michael Penix. It could be McCarthy. It's possible. I'm not sure it is. I think they have to take a quarterback. I mean, Sean Payton can say anything he wants. He's gonna. You're either doing this or you're playing Jarrett Stidham. I don't think he's gonna do that. It is also possible they're like the Giants. They could trade back and do it. I don't think they're in any hurry to do it. I don't think they're necessarily, if they can get extra picks and get a quarterback, maybe they do that if they like the other quarterback. But I think it's Nix and Toby. I don't think they do for round. I don't think they're going to get a trade. That's good. Quinyon Mitchell, Toledo for the Raiders. Raiders, I have no clue. You never do what they're going to do. Mitchell, I think, is probably the best defensive player. Could they be looking at a quarterback? Maybe. I think this is a little bit less. They went ahead and paid Gardner Minshew. Aiden O'Connell, I think they're still looking at. I think this is probably the best defensive player on the board, one of them. I think they go ahead and do that. Talise Fuaga for Oregon for the Saints. I think they have a right tackle spot. I think this guy kind of can play right away at right tackle as well. That might play him at guard. I don't know, but I think they have a right tackle need. So definitely you could plug him in right away. Nate Wiggins for the Colts. That's definitely a weakness for them. They definitely need a corner. I think you get one of these 3, you should be happy with that. Again, Ballard and Irsay, God only knows. I mean, they should be looking at help too. I think I don't think they're going to sign a wide receiver. I think that's kind of not kind of their thing. They kind of always, in a lot of ways, go defense line trenches. They kind of like stay away from like skill positions really early, for whatever reason, with that team. Seahawks, Olu Fashado for Penn State. Technically sound as it gets. I think maybe the most technically sound guy. Love his bend. I think he fits in great with the Seahawks as well. Again, that right tackle need that they have. So definitely a need that they have to go ahead and get in. Definitely a guy they can go ahead and develop. Jerson Newton for the Illinois, for the play for the Fighting Illini for the Jags. Um, uh, Big year for the Jags here. Jags really need help here. They're kind of like use a business term. They're kind of losing market share. Last year, I spent all summer talking about maybe their elite team, maybe they're third in their division with some of the moves that they made. So definitely they need a strong draft. I think this is guy, best defensive tackle, I think, on the board. I think he's a little smallish. I think, honestly, he'd be probably benefiting from a team where he could probably play DN. But I definitely think this will definitely a good pick for them. J.C. Latham, huge guy, absolutely huge. J.C. Latham. I'm not sure if he's not plug and play. I think they always need linemen. They always need linemen for the Bengals. Bengals have they always have line issues. You got to go ahead and protect Joe Burrow. Wide receiver need is out there, depending on what happens with Tyler Boyd. But I definitely think if a guy like this talented, absolutely, I think they can take him off the board. Brian Murphy jumps up a little bit for Texas to the Rams. Look, Aaron Donald's retired now. So you forget about replacing Aaron Donald because there's no such thing. What you need to do is you just need to find the best guy you can. Right? You're not gonna be able to replace a Hall of Famer Aaron Donald, but you can find the best guy. I think Byron Murphy is absolutely a guy you could go ahead and start for them right away because you have to fill that spot now that he's gone. Squealers, Troy Fatanu. He's moving up the draft boards. I had him in the last mock around 30. I don't know if he lasts that long. I think he could play guard and tackle. I think definitely that's still a need. I think Broderick Jones on the left side for them. Right side, I think you could definitely put Fatanu. They still, I think, need a center, but I definitely think they have a couple needs on the line. I definitely think they can take a guy. This guy's pretty versatile. Everything I'm seeing, he's going up the board. So I think the Squealers might take him at 20. Latu, I think, is my favorite DN, edge rush, whatever you want to call him in this draft. I think his upside is tremendous. I think his speed is tremendous. I like everything about him I've seen. Like every time you watch him, guys cannot stay in front of him. Excellent, ultimate speed rusher. I think he's I think he's fantastic. Had a serious neck medical issue diagnosed. Possibly it was misdiagnosed. This is why I think he's going way below Verse and this is why I think he's going below Verse and Turner because I think that's going to scare teams off. I don't care what anybody says. When teams see a serious medical issue, they drop him on board. Talent-wise, I don't think that I love him. So I think definitely he's outstanding. I think the Dolphins would love to get him at 21. I don't think the Dolphins do anything with quarterback despite all the rumors. I think Tua, they're going to stay with him for a little while. You make it an extension soon. I think they're going to extend him. I don't think they're going to do anything there. Jackson Powers Johnson, Oregon, 22 for the Eagles. So, well, Jason Kelsey's now retired, so you got to fill that spot. I think why not take the top center in the draft? They fill a lot of their needs. This is a good football team. I definitely think this is a guy. Now, it's a little bit of a risk. Oh, we take center early and have him start. That's the only thing. It's so important to a team. Probably maybe you could argue whether left tackle is more important than center, but so important to take a rookie center, especially on a team with Super Bowl hopes like the Eagles. Keep that in mind. Michael Penix, the Washington Huskies. I think Minnesota takes it, pulls the trigger here. I think Minnesota's doing something. I think everybody's so convinced it's J.J. McCarthy. That's possible, But I think everybody's thinking, okay, well, they went ahead and got this extra pick to go ahead and take McCarty in the first round. I think they might want to say, hey, look, we're going to have a choice here. We might have Bo Nix here. We got Penix here. We got McCarty. I think they realize that I think 23 might get them a quarterback. So I think that could be what they're doing. Brian Thomas for LSU. For the Cowboys, Jerry Jones loves to take skill people. Loves to take it. There's an opening next to CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup's out the door. Definitely, you want to help Dak Prescott as much as you can. Jerry Jones loves to take these skill guys. I absolutely see Jerry Jones taking, I think, the number 4 receiver. I think in the draft, easy. These 4 are the automatic first-round guys. Amarius Mims for the Packers. I think he's got some work to do. I think the athletic ability, I think I have him right up there with Joe Alt. He's a little green. This is a great place to go if you're an offensive lineman, though, in Green Bay. I think they have probably the Ravens are as well, but this is probably one of the best franchises as far as developing offensive tackles that play well. I like the pick there. I think they'll know how to get the most out of him. Consistently. I think they do very well, I think, with offensive line. Rarely you hear, like, okay, the Packers don't have a good offensive line. Cooper DeJean for the Bucks. Again, they went ahead and made a trade in the offseason. They have a hole there. I think more and more he's going to play corner. I have corner safety. Somebody might want him at safety, but I think because he's going to get drafted the first round, somebody's going to look at corner. A lot of teams need corner. So I think he's going to play corner. Tyler Guyton for the Cardinals, to the Cardinals from Oklahoma. I think he is a little bit of a project, but not a lot. I think he might have to sit for a little bit. Possible. But I think that's possible that he might have to sit. But I think absolutely, in the long term, I think this is a great pick. Tyler Guyton, tremendous athlete. If you want an athlete, this is a guy that you want to take. Xavier Worthy, athlete is the word. Putting him in there with Diggs, if you can get Diggs head on straight, having a guy with this type of speed, 4.2 speed, no question about it. You can use him a variety of ways. That's going to go well. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Again, I think they released Cam Sutton yesterday rather. So they definitely have a cornerback need. The cornerback play wasn't that good last year. They definitely have that. They did go ahead and get Carlton Davis. So getting a Kool-Aid McKinstry is good. Jordan Morgan, Alabama, for Arizona rather. So definitely a need there that the Ravens have. More and more with the Ravens, I think it's going to be O-tackle. They need it bad. It doesn't look like they're going after the receivers too hard. It is possible that they go there, but I think the offensive line and the tackle spot is a huge thing. I think getting Morgan, I think Morgan sees that he's slipping a bit. Ravens should be very happy with this. This is a guy definitely with a lot of ability here at number 30. Graham Barton for the Duke Blue Devils, picking at 31. I think the 49ers line is overrated. I think Trent Williams isn't overrated. Trent Williams is terrific. But I think that if you look at the way to improve their team, that's definitely a thing they got to do. I think the offensive line, Adonde Mitchell is going to go ahead and wide receiver. I've mocked them wide receiver a couple times. That makes sense. They did go ahead and sign Marquise Brown. Rashid Rice got in some trouble. We'll see how that goes. But I think they need a receiver anyway. That's the area I think they have to go getting a wide receiver. There you go. Mock draft 3.0.